Let's do AI versus local I and talk about negotiations. AI gives us 10 tips for effective real estate negotiations. 1, research the market. Number 2 is set clear objectives. 3, know your budget. Work with an experienced agent.
I like that one.
5, establish rapport. 6, listen actively. 7, be patient. 8, utilize contingencies. 9, be willing to compromise. And 10, stay informed.
All right, Mike.
Yeah.
So we got 10, ChatGPT, artificial intelligence.
Right?
How do we compare? Do you agree with those top 10?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Right?
So they start with research the market.
That's absolutely important.
All right. So what does research the market mean to you?
So I would say part of what we do on a daily basis is actually have what I call boots on the ground, or what people call boots on the ground, is actually going in and looking at property.
Yep.
Right? And I think that's something that's been lost recently because everything's online.
Well, we got 360 tours. What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. Right, but just because you see a 360 tour doesn't necessarily mean that you know that the house is next to, say, the elementary school or middle school. And that may be a plus, it may be a minus. So.
It's still marketing, so you're still putting the best foot forward. Like when COVID came out and we had a 360 camera, even as a realtor, so I'm guilty of this, I would do 2 360 tours. One of the good parts.
Sure.
And then one of the scary basement and the garage full of crap.
Right.
Because you want to know both of those things before you put an offer in on a house. So during quarantine, we wanted to make sure that everybody was fully informed.
That's fair. That's fair. So what you're saying is you need to put your best foot forward and also show the warts?
Yeah. I mean, when we talk to buyers, we say, I can talk you into a property and I can talk you out of a property, because a buyer wants to know both.
Sure.
I want to know what people find. For me, having a giant lawn would be a bad thing.
Right.
For
me too.
Yeah. So knowing the market. So let's go a little deeper on knowing the market.
Okay.
Researching the market. What do you do to research your market?
So I do about 4 things to research the market. One is local knowledge, and it's just actually talking with the other agents.
Okay.
Right. So not only do we know what's currently on the market, not only do we know what has sold recently, also we want to know what the agents are seeing out there.
Okay.
Right. So what are you seeing? What are your buyers looking for?
Okay.
Right. So that way you can gauge, if you're working for a buyer, you can gauge the competition.
Okay.
Right. So you can say, well, geez, I know 5 other people that are looking for a house very similar to yours.
Yep.
So when we find it, it means, man, we got to go in hard and heavy.
Yep.
Right, with our best foot forward right off the bat. If we know this is a unique property, maybe we can back off a little bit. So that would be the first thing that I would do, is just pull and talk to the local agents. Right. The second thing is actually really having a great understanding of the community and the area. And why is that important? Because then we can talk to our clients about what's important to them. Yeah. Right. So we always have that conversation, right? So what's important to you, or is that important to you, right? It could be anything from schools to how far away is it walking distance to, downtown, or, what lifestyle do you want?
Well, sometimes having a great school is super important because you've got kids of school age, or some people just think that's more tax dollars out.
Well, that's true. That's true. But then I can also flip that and say, yes, but with a great school district, your property value is always going to be a little bit higher.
Fair.
So, right, yeah, you are paying for that, but you will get it back in the end.
Yep.
Possibly.
Number 3?
Number 3 is actually doing, my least favorite is looking at the numbers.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, your favorite, my least favorite, right? Like looking at the numbers, pulling, slicing and dicing, and looking at the data. Yeah. In some areas, it's really, really easy because it's like a master plan community with 5 different floor plans, right? And you can look at it and go, oh, well, the Victorian floor plan just sold and it had the granite upgrade. So we can take your house and subtract 10 grand because you don't have granite, right? Or it had an upgraded kitchen, or it had a pool. This area is so different. It's more of an art than a science. Would you agree? I
think so. And we're kind of one market, and with our team, we have people that are spread out. So I get the benefit of looking at right when COVID hit. I remember we were making an offer on something on Great East Lake, which is a fantastic lake. But I also knew of a property that had just sold on another lake that was pretty much an hour away. So the local realtors weren't comparing both marketplaces.
Oh, interesting.
And I knew that one had sold for 1.1, and this one was listed at 900. And the buyers were, well, they were looking at pre-COVID comps, but because I knew the market, I could give them insight into New Hampshire as being one market. So having local market data compared to other market data, compared to what the realtors' opinions are, there's so many different things that goes into just what is local market data.
What is local market data? Yeah.
So you said 4. What's number 4?
Number 4 would be the actual tour of the house.
Okay.
Right. And I know that this is maybe a little more controversial because we've actually sold things from video tours, right? But actually being there at the property, being there at the house and taking into account condition, location, and how it fits your client's needs are super important. And I would say, I got to tell you, having a closing where the final walkthrough was the first time that the client actually saw the house.
Very nerve-wracking.
It's about the most nerve-wracking thing ever, right? Moving trucks are there, the house is empty, and you're like, oh my goodness, this is the first time they're actually laying eyes on this place. Okay. So for me, that's important. It may not be important for other agents or other people, but really dialing in and getting in to see the house, I don't know how much more local you can be, because that's about as local as it is.
Yep.
Right. And then, talking to the neighbors, and maybe we don't do that, but suggesting that our clients talk to the neighbors.
Well, we always like to have people talk to people to get what's not publicized.
Sure.
So if somebody's moving into an association, you want them to talk to the association president.
Right.
There might be an assessment that's not documented anywhere, but rumor has it you're going to have to come up with $5,000. I had one person that was going into a condo association, young family, waterfront association. They were super excited about moving to their vacation home. They talked to the association president, and the association president actually said, "We don't like kids here." So that's local market research.
Absolutely.
So Chat GPT AI said, research the market. Start by thoroughly researching the local real estate market. Understand current property values, recent sales data, market trends. This information will empower you during the negotiation process. Do you think we agree with AI?
Pretty much.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I think we still add to it.
I think we add a lot to it.
Awesome.
Right.